And we are live. Good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. I am Robert Henderson Jr., President, Founder, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group, located here in Miami Lakes, Florida. Not only the Henderson Financial Group, but we have Henderson Realty also. We also have Henderson Insurance that does business all over the country and the world. And I'm delighted to be here today. I'm riding solo. My co host, James T is out on assignment. As a matter of fact, we're going to see if we can reach him because he's on a golf tournament with Doge and Doja, a company that we sponsor, a nonprofit organization. So we're going to see if we can bring him in live if he gets a chance when he's on the tee. When he's teeing on. Hopefully, he's doing a good job. But today, I got a great show lined up for you. Last week, we had the guy Raymond on talking about HVAC and project management, a school that he has in Opelika. If you missed it, I want you guys to go back and look. It's on Facebook and YouTube. It'll never go off. I want you to go back and get his contact because it was a great show and he's a fantastic person and he's willing to help share community in the community. He loves the community and he loves what he's doing. And it's a trade that you can take up regardless of the age that you can have and you can actually make a living by doing it. And it's HVAC, where it's air conditioning, refrigeration, heating, electricity, even project management. And we're going to team him up, as a matter of fact, with Mr. Doja Urban Calf Academy, because they help people also in that line of work also. But I love that field because when you building, man, I tell you, especially when you know how to build, there's no stopping you. And I think that just more and more people need to get involved in, especially people of color, because in our neighborhood, we have a lot of blight all over the country. And if we know how to do that, we can actually take advantage of that, actually help our community to beautify it without some outsider coming in and charging us a lot of money to upgrade or even buy the property and then sell it and then leave the community. So if you know how to do that, then that's a plus because you can help beautify the community and people will know you and you could build a nice career doing that. So shouts out for last week, Mr. Raymond out of Opelika with his electricity, HVAC, and project management program that he has there. And he gets grants. So we'll be donating to him also. So today, I want to talk about understanding risk, especially with the stock market and what's going on with the stock market. Market's been down 700 points, 800 points, and then the next day it'll go up 400 points. And people are really, really nervous about having their money in the stock market. And I'll tell you, I would say I've been doing this for a long time. I'm a financial planner. I've been doing this a very long time, over 30 years. And I'll tell you, from what I can see, and what I've worked with a lot of people, all walks of life, black, white, Spanish, Jewish, Asian, Caribbean. I work with a lot of people right now. And I would say 90% of people shouldn't be in the stock market. 90% of them, because most people, they want something, but the way they think is the temperament is not there. The stock market really is a long-term game. I mean, it's long term. That's why a lot of people that work for it and then have an employer and they put their money in the 401k plan, they've been working for 20, 30 years. Yes, it pans out. It does very well for you over time. But in the short run, it can be very, very risky. So today I want to talk about risk and understanding risk. And I'm going to give you an example of a client that called me and he needs my help. And we're going to talk about his risk tolerance. He wanted one thing, but his risk tolerance said something else. Good morning, classmate Annie Edwards. How you doing? I know a lot of you all out there are looking and watching. That's okay. You don't sign in, but hey, as long as you learn something, that's what it's all about. I'm about sharing. I love what I do. I'm never going to retire because I call this retirement. I love what I do. I love learning every day, every week. We learn something here at the Henderson Financial Group. Every year we change and we grow, especially with AI. We're using that a whole lot in terms of information. I'm not afraid of AI because I use it as a tool. You know, I look at it like a person that used to eat with his hands, now eating with a fork and a spoon and a knife. You know, utensils. That's why I look at AI, and it's been working really really well for us and helping us be more efficient. So don't run away from it. Learn as much as you can. It's like your personal butler. How you doing, Aaron Harris? Uh, Good to see you here. Also, I know other people are chiming in. I was a little late. I had to take care of something. My grandson, 8 years old, we bought him a suit, um, and he's really feeling himself now. We just bought it. We was trying it on this morning, but he was really feeling himself. So I got a little behind. But anyway, so let's talk about risk, and I'm gonna give you an example because I want you to back into this, and I want you to see yourself so you can really measure yourself when it comes to risk. You know, um, so this client called me and he says, Rob, I have $5 million. You know, he did a deal. Um, he did a deal. He's an entrepreneur and he profited, and it was $5 million. So he called me and said, Rob, I made $5 million. I said, okay. Off that deal? He said, yes. He said, but I need to get about 10%. And I said, okay, I can get you between 10 and 11%. And he says, well, so you figure like 10% of 500,000, you know, that's 10% of 5 million is 500,000 a year. That's like having a tree worth $5 million, and just the fruit just come off the tree, the mangoes or fruit or apples or whatever produce $500,000. So he liked that. And I said, oh man. And he says, Rob, is it guaranteed? And I say, well, first of all, let me give you the skinny. Let me give you the gospel, the truth. In this environment that we have right now, this economic environment, a 10% or 11% or anything higher than that is not guaranteed. If this was 1979, when the Middle East war was taking place, with the well, a lot of this stuff is happening right now, believe it or not. That was 1979 when this happened, when it was a big war going on in the Middle East and the United States was involved. That was 1979. Why? How do I know that? Because in 1979, I was a graphic artist working for CBS Channel 4, and I had to put all the graphics and all the material up on the TV. I really did. That was 1979. And back then, you could get 10% guaranteed on a CD. You can get 10% guaranteed or you can't lose your principal. That was pretty good. People were like, and banks were telling people to put their money in the bank, and they was offering them toasters and all kind of gifts to, bring deposits, and it was giving them 10%. But that hasn't happened since. That was 1979. Here in 2026, you can't get 10% guaranteed. But he liked the idea of 10%. But he says, Robert, I need my principal guaranteed. And I said, listen, anybody, and I'm saying this because I want you all to understand risk. I want you to understand the economic climate, what's going on in this time right now. Right now, rates are very, very, well, I would say there's different kind of rates. Like you can probably get like a 3% guaranteed. You can get a 4% guarantee. Guaranteed means that your principal is not going to be touched. You're not going to lose a penny. You can get that with an annuity. You can. Okay, but it's always trade-offs. And Parnell just signed on. How you doing, Parnell? I like to talk about trade-offs because there's trade-offs in everything that we do. And I want you all to think about that. Have a conversation with yourself. What do you mean trade-off? There's trade-off. There's a give and take. If a fat man want to be skinny, he cannot eat as much. I don't care. He exercise all he want to. He can sweat whatever. But if he keep putting that food in his mouth, he ain't gonna lose no weight. He may use some body sweat or some water weight, but if he keep opening his mouth, chewing and swallowing, he ain't gonna lose no weight. That's what it's all about. Okay, that's the give and take. That's the give and take. Now, back to this risk stuff. Because when you really think about it, it's a metaphor for a lot of things in terms of risk. So this guy says he wants the 10%, but he wants his principal guaranteed. I said, you can't get that. He says, Rob, but I want that. I say, well, you have to absorb. The higher return that you want to receive, the more risk that you have to take. Now, how do I back that up? Okay. If you are in Miami and you need to get to Orlando, and let's say Orlando take 3.5, 4 hours to drive normal speed, going 70 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour on the turnpike, you can get there in that time. It's already calculated. But if you want to get to Orlando, and normally it costs 3.5, it takes 3.5 to 4 hours going 65 to 70 miles an hour, that's what it takes. If you want to get there faster, you got to go faster. You got to go, you got to be going 80 miles, 85 miles an hour. You got to go faster. Going faster subjects yourself to risk. Somebody can pull out in front of you. You can get a ticket. You speeding. You're going over the rate. So you're going faster. So that means you're taking more risk. But you can get there. I've done it. Hell, I've gotten to Orlando in my Porsche, for under 3 hours, believe it or not. But I was taking risk. But I think I'm a pretty good driver. I don't weaving out of try. I don't drive like a bat out of hell. And I don't drive like that. I'll probably stay in the fast lane or something. But anyway, that's beside the point. There's trade-offs. So let me get back to this client. So he says, Rob, I want the 10%. Why can't it be guaranteed? I said, because if any institution, any bank, any insurance company, anybody that was offering a guaranteed 10%, everybody and their mama that got some sense will pull all their money out of banks. Because y'all know y'all ain't getting no money, no banks, no credit cards, no credit unions. They ain't paying no 10%. They're not. So everybody would line up to get that guaranteed principal 10%. Everybody, if you follow me. Hell, shopping centers or grocery stores, they don't. I think they might work on a 6 or 7% markup. Some of the stuff, candy and stuff like that, they can probably get 10, 20% junk food, But for them, especially liquor. But for the most part, if you can get a comfortable right now, 5%, 6%, but you can't get that guaranteed even. Because I'm thinking about dividends. I'm thinking about AT&T, a company that's been around, a Verizon, who's been around, who's strong, got muscles. They're not getting ready to go out of business. You can get dividends where they pay you, 5%, 5.5%. Used to be 6%, but the stock went up, so now it's less. But they pay you to hold your money. They pay you. Okay? So when I told him I can get him 10%, I explained to him the aspect that I gave him a metaphor. I said, listen, you give me the $5 million, I can get you between 10 and 11%. He liked that, but he didn't like that he could lose some of his principal. I said, okay, when I'm going to put you in, it's not going to be like you're going to be up and down, up and down. I asked him, I said, have you ever been on an airplane? Which I know he had. So when you go on an airplane, I want y'all to listen to me. When you all get ready to go on an airplane, some of y'all don't fly, I know y'all. Annie, I know you ain't messing with the planes. All right. But some of y'all, like myself, next week, matter of fact, Tuesday, I got to go to a financial conference. I'm going to be on a plane. I got to go way on the West Coast. It's a 5-hour West Coast. Matter of fact, it's in Nevada. It's a 5-hour flight. Now, I already got my ticket. They already paid for everything. The conference that I'm going to. I've never checked out the pilot ever since I've been flying, since I was 17, 18 years old. I've never knew whoever was flying that plane. I never looked at their credentials. I don't know if it's a man or a woman, black, white. I just took the risk. Now, when you get on the airplane, you go 30,000 feet in the air. You get turbulence. And every time I get turbulence, I go, oh, Lord, I hope this ain't the time. I got too much to do, Lord, please. But if it is, hey, your will. But boy, but if it ain't your will, please. And I calm down. I don't like that turbulence. But almost every time when I get on the airplane, there's a little bit of turbulence. It settles down. But the reason why I'm talking about that is because when you can get, if I can get you 10%, Are you willing to take a little turbulence, knowing that airplanes don't fall out of the sky every day? You know how many? It's tens of thousands of airplane flights every day. We don't hear about, oh, another crash today, another crash today, another. We don't hear about that. That's very, very rare. It's a lot of people flying. When they cancel those flights, they'll tell you how many flights been. They cancel 10,000 flights, 20,000 flights. That's a lot of big planes carrying a lot of people. They cancel them today. So that tells you a lot of people are assuming risk. And a lot of them same people that get on the airplane say they don't want no risk. Hell, they risking their life, because get on an airplane, that's a lot of risk. We don't even know. So if I tell you, give me $5 million and you're going to get 10% if you get on the airplane, people will take it. But if I say, give me your $5 million and I'm going to put it in some dividends that's going to pay you monthly, and you say, well, I got a guarantee. When I get on that plane Tuesday, if I ask the airline, can y'all guarantee that I'm going to land safely? They'll say no. They say don't get on the plane then. Because we hope, we wish, we think, we believe. And let's take this a little further. Last night I went to sleep. Yeah, I went to sleep last night. And I woke up this morning. Was there any guarantees? And I want you to ask yourself, was there any guarantees? And you cannot say, yes, it was guaranteed I was going to wake up, because you know there's plenty of people died in their sleep last night. Some people didn't wake up. Now, with you knowing that information, you having that data, that when you go to sleep tonight, some of y'all not going to wake up. Now, with you knowing this, and this to be a true fact, are you going to go to sleep at night? Heck yeah, you're going. As soon as you get tired, you're going to sleep. You're going to assume that risk. Think about that. You're going to assume the risk. Yes, you are. And hopefully you wake up. So when I told this guy, I said, listen, he said, Robert, I need at least $40,000 a month off the $5 million. I said, I can get that for you. We put it in some dividend stocks. It's paying 10%, 11%. Some pay 9%. We average. But we're going to put it in one company. We're going to put it in different companies, but it's going to average that. But he says, man, I like that return because I'm giving you $5 million. Man, the minimum I'm going to get is $500,000 a year. That's like 41,000 not guaranteed, 41,000 a month. I like that. He said, how long you been doing? I said, I've been doing it a long time. He said, oh, man. That's like saying, how long I've been flying? I've been flying since I was 17. I ain't crashed yet. Here I am, 67 years old. I mean, I've been taking a little minor risk. I'm not going to get on Junebug's airplane. I won't get on Spirit. Okay, no, I shouldn't say that. but I'm gonna try to get on a good record. I don't get on an airplane. Airline you just started. I got to check you out, make sure that you got good qualifications. I may not know the pilot, but I'm gonna limit my risk. And think about that. Every time you, me, all of us get in the car, we pass cars like this here going this way, and don't even think about a two-lane highway or two. You going this way, the car going that way, and it's just a line. But you driving, you don't know that fool gonna be looking on his phone and just rear over and hit you. At that impact, y'all going 60, 70 miles an hour, y'all dead like that. You gonna take a risk? You telling me risk? State troopers every day ride up on the highway, pull people over. I never forget, this state trooper came to my office. Said, Mr. Henderson, I heard about you. He says, I want you to invest my money. He said, but I want zero risk. And he had his whole state trooper uniform on. And he had his big old Glock on the side. And I looked at him. I said, well, if you want to, he said, I want to make as much money as possible. I said, well, you can, but you got to take a little bit of risk. He said, I ain't taking no risk. I said, hold on, you ain't taking no risk with your money. Money can be come and go, but you take a risk with your life, pulling somebody over who you don't even know, complete strangers, and you pull them over and chase behind them, this big old gun. You're going to take a risk on your life, but you won't take a risk with your money to make more money? And absolutely, he said no. So we got to really think about risk. Got to think about risk. Let's get back to this client. So I said, listen, You say you would like to have your $5 million invested. And he said, one other thing, Rob, one other thing. It has to be liquid. When I give you the 5 million, I want to get the highest return, but it has to be liquid. Okay, so let me tell you, when I say it has to be liquid, what he was saying. He was saying he's going to give me the $5 million. He wanted me to guarantee the principal. And then tomorrow or next month, if he come back and say, I need 2 million, there's no penalty. There's no repercussion. There's nothing. He can just get his money. I said, I could get you a guarantee, but I can't get you where you can't lose a penny. If you scratch the 10% because you don't want to take no risk, you don't want a little turbulence. The airplane have a little turbulence. You don't even want that. But I could get you guaranteed, but I can't get you no 10%. It's nowhere in the planet. Now, I'm going to tell y'all something. Some of y'all done got scammed, and y'all know people who got scammed because they told you that you was getting, it's going to get you 10% or 20% a month. Not a year, but a month. I hear people talking about they lost money because they gave a guy $100,000 because there's going to get 10% a month. Now, based on what I'm saying, the super rich don't get 10% a month. And the super rich, when they do make money, there's some turbulence. They're taking the risk. Soon as somebody tell you 5% guaranteed a month run, if they tell you 3% guarantee a month run, if they tell you 1% guarantee a month run, because 1% a month is 12% a year guaranteed. That ain't happening. Everybody, smart money, will take their money out of the banks and give it to you. The government, hell, will give it to you. You'll get trillions and billions of dollars to invest. So these are clues. There's no risk. Whereas risk, there's got to be a reward. But then you can't have both. So this guy says he wants liquidity. Okay. The only way you can put money and guarantee your principal and get it when you want to is a savings account with no risk and get the little bit. That's why savings accounts don't pay you nothing. You ain't did nothing, man. I mean, what? I mean, you ain't taking no risk. You ain't doing nothing. Matter of fact, you say you want to get your money when you want to. The CDs will pay you a little bit of money because they say they're going to lock your money up for 3 months or 6 months or a year. An annuity. Right now, this guy just gave me $1 million. If he puts the $1 million in this fixed guarantee annuity, which he is, in 5 years, because he can let it wait, he said he can wait. In 5 years, his guaranteed amount would be $112,000 a year for the rest of his life. Now, since he got that, he ain't taking no risk. But he had a trade-off. He had to wait 5 years for it to be in the crock pot. Secondly, the liquidity, meaning that if he give me the $1 million, I put it in that guaranteed fixed annuity, it's going to give him that $112,000 every year. Every year he's getting that. He can get it monthly. 112 divided by 112,000 divided by 12 months. He'll get it every year. Come just like a Social Security check. He ain't got to call me. It's going to come for the rest of his life. And if he died, it goes to his wife. But it's not going to be liquid. What I'm telling you, when he puts the $1 million in there, a year from now, if he says, I need 500,000, no, he can get 10%. So a year from now, when you put in an annuity, you can get 10%. But it's a trade-off. What do you want to do? You want income, or you want your cake and eat it too? You want everything. No, it's a trade-off. Hell, you want to be married and you want to have girlfriends too. Come on, man, that's going to be a problem. You want children, but you don't want children. I mean, come on. You want children, you want a little baby, but you don't want the baby to cry. I mean, if you want to have children and you want to have a baby, I mean, come on, the baby gonna cry. The baby gonna come on. I mean, it's a trade-off. I mean, you want a fancy car, but you want the maintenance cost nothing. You want to get the fancy car, but the tune-up you want to cost $20. No. This guy bought a $1 million car, and he said the maintenance on it was $90,000. Just the maintenance. I mean, you want the pretty girl? It's calls. All the pretty girls they calls. Look at me. You gonna pay for this? I mean, come on. You want a first class? First class costs more than coach. It's a trade-off. It just is. So this guy said he wanted to give me $5 million. He wanted the highest return, and he want to have access to his money with no penalty when he wants to. There's no product like that on the planet. Now, if you're willing to take a little turbulence, you can get both. So I said, if I take that $5 million, it's gonna be turbulence like an airplane, but you're gonna get safely. You're gonna, but I can't guarantee. But it's like I've been riding a plane since I was 17. I'm 67, so I've been getting them dividends. In other words, I took a little risk. Now, I ain't taking no crazy risk. Like I ain't put my money in Junebug's chicken. I don't know who Junebug chicken is. No, I'm a calculated risk taker. Calculator risk taker. It's like I've been married to Natalie. May 23rd is gonna be 39 years. Now, first time I got married when I got the girl pregnant. This is my second marriage. My first marriage, I got the girl pregnant. I was like 20 years old. She got pregnant. I married her. But boy, I tell you, she was pretty girl, pretty, beautiful. I had to buy her stuff I couldn't even pronounce to keep her. She knew she was pretty too. I got her pregnant. Oh my God. And I was working. That's how I got into doing all this. I need to make money. I won't sell no drugs. I got to do something, make some money, stocks, real estate, or whatever. Yeah. But boy, I mean, we friends now. But that was a trade-off. But I said, okay, you win, take it all out, I'm gonna start over. My second marriage was totally different. Totally different. That's why we've been married for 39 years. It's trade-offs, you know what I mean? I mean, you know, the first girl was a little bit more, The second girl is more like, yeah. Well, I mean, you can't have it all now. I mean, some of y'all think you have it all, but there's trade-offs. That's what I'm speaking now in terms of investments, but it's life. That's why I could use this metaphor and apply it to anything, whether you driving. I mean, if you want to get to New York in 2 hours and you're in Miami, you got to take an airplane. You can't take a bus and be there in 2 hours. You darn sure can't take a train, the Greyhound. You cannot. You can't take a bicycle. How safe do you want to be? You can't walk there and be there in 2 hours. You can't. So how are you going to get there in 2 hours? You got to take some risks. And if you don't want to get on that airplane, you don't forget about being there in 2 hours. Forget about being there in 3 hours. Because the bus or no other transportation will get you to New York from Miami in less than 2 hours or 3. I'm saying you can't do it in 3 hours. Matter of fact, you can't do it in a day. A bus won't get you from here to New York in a day. A train, no, it takes a long time. But if you're willing to absorb that and get on that plane, just don't get on Spirit. I shouldn't say that. Fire it because it's cheap. If you ain't taking no luggage, the Spirit is good, or Frontier or whatever. You know, I've taken Frontier to New York. I'm not to California. Well, I took it to Terry's house. I took it to Ohio when she used to live there. Because Natalie was saying, man, we ain't paying all that for no tickets, and she booked the tickets, and it was Frontier. Like I was sitting on a back, like I was sitting on a patio chairs or something. Never do that again. That was funny. It was relation. I mean, that was funny. But anyway, I'm saying I learned something now. I ain't nothing against Frontier, but you know, your budget Frontier, at least it gets you where you want to go. You may not be comfortable, but you know, hey, at least it gets you there. But my whole point is I'm talking about trade out. So I said, okay, you can take that risk. I can get you, you give me $5 million, I can get you 10%. That's $500,000 just dividends. and your 10%, and you have access to it. If you want to next week or next month or next year, you want to take out 4 million, whatever you want to take out, there's no penalty. And he still wouldn't go for that because he needed that guaranteed in his mind. See, the way our system is set up, there's certain things that are guaranteed. If you want certainty, then it's a whole category of guaranteed investments. A lady was in my office yesterday, scared as her shadow almost. And she just retired, a school teacher in Dade County, Florida. And her money is in tax shelters, annuities, and she wants to roll it over and get something better. One of her accounts, she had 3 different accounts. In 2024, it grew 31% because she had it in the market. Soon as the market took a bump, she took it out of there. And she put it on the bench. She put it in the government funds. She put it in the safety. And then next year, she got 1.5%. She ain't make no more money. So she was in here and I was explaining to her. She said, she's only 58 years old. I said, well, you can't have access to this money until you're 59 and a half anyway. She said, Ms. Henderson, I don't want to take no risk. I said, well, right now, believe it or not, since the stock market has been getting killed since Trump started this, since U.S., got into this war with the Middle East with Iran, which is totally ridiculous. Stocks have been going down a whole lot, man. You look at Meta, Facebook, boy, I tell you, that thing, $700 is under $600 now a share. I mean, a lot of them have really, really come down. And for long term, this is the best time to invest. It's like Macy's having a Dillard's or Macy's or something having a sale. What do you want to invest the money? When the market go up or when the market go down? You want to look for deals, smart money. When you want to buy real estate, when it's high or when real estate go down? You want to buy it now, but you have to change your paradigm of thinking psychologically. Just like I just told you, man. I mean, if you want Juicy Lucy, you got to pay for Juicy Lucy, brother. I mean, if you want a side piece and you working hard, you got a 9-to-5 job and you have a nerve to have a side piece, Juicy Lucy, you is out of your mind. Ain't nothing but trouble. First, you're going to get caught. And secondly, that's expensive. Come on, grow up. Really? Think about that. It's a metaphor. It doesn't make sense. They ask me, Rob, how you make good decisions? Because I look at nature. I look at stuff natural. I like movies. I know the bad guy gonna get it in the end. I already know that. That's just universal law. I understand. I understand the seasons. I understand that this season, there's 4 seasons. It's winter, spring. Well, if you living in Miami, ain't no 4, but worldwide, there's seasons. I know winter is coming. I know winter is coming. I know summer is coming. I know it's gonna rain. I know it's gonna get sweltering hot. You're like, how you know it's gonna get hot? I know it's gonna get hot. I done been here before, so I can tell you. You don't know? I done seen this movie before. So with this market right now, the market getting dumped. Let me tell you something. A lot of wealthy people want this shit to go down. Why? Because they still, wherever they making money, they get more money, and they want to invest it when it's low. Right now, if real estate was low, would y'all be buying it or selling it? You'd be buying it. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Whatever you bought real estate at right now, just because it went down, that's temporarily. I tell you one thing, 10 years from now, you're going to wish that it's going to cost way more than it does now. 20 years ago, 15 years later, it's going to cost way more. You're going to say, man, I wish I would have had the mindset to do that. You can't keep making the same mistakes because you're going to keep on repeating. You ain't going to get nowhere. You got to learn from this stuff. You got to learn from this stuff, man. This stuff is about learning. And you ain't got to be no financial expert. You just got to look at nature. You got to look at, this guy married and he got a girlfriend on the side. How long you think they're going to ride off into the sunset and everything going to be happy? And don't think the wife going to fight. Ain't nobody perfect. Some going to make a mistake. It's like a girl tell me, Rob, Mr. Henderson, I know you're married, but I'll be your number 2. If you got number 2, I'll be your number 3. And I say, well, okay, I've been married to Natalie for a long time. Should I think that you're going to keep my secret? I'm just saying, should I put all of my trust that if I do, this is a trade-off? Come on. She ain't going to keep my secret. She going to, oh, man, hey, guess what, y'all? Woo! Mr. Henderson, I got him. And if she going to tell that person, ain't nobody, come on. Ain't Lord, I'm going to have to kill her. And if I kill her, then I'm in jail for life. And it ain't worth it. So, see, I look at the movie to the end. Nope, Robert. She may be beautiful, more beautiful things you ever saw. But that's danger. You know how it's going to end. It's trade-offs. It's trade. I don't say I ain't got no eyes, but I got I'm a calculated risk taker. I'm a calculated risk taker. I'm an odds man. But I don't gamble. I do not gamble my money. I don't even play the lottery. I don't. God told me in my mind, boy, you reap what you sow. You earn it. Stop you ain't at the carnival no more trying to win some little stuffed animals, get something for nothing. Stop that getting something for nothing. If you gotta get this, I can get something for nothing. That'll mess you up. That's a trap. If you have this, I can get something for nothing, you already going down the wrong path. That's a loser's mentality. Getting something for nothing. That's the first thing. That's the first rule to understanding prosperity. Get that out your head. Anything that says getting something for nothing, you already lost because you've been deceived, because that's not how the planet works. That's not how the universe works. The grass need the sun, need the water. The grass just ain't going to be green on its own. You got to give. You got to give the grass something. Come on. We need the sunlight. We need the night. We need all that. All the universe, it works together. We need the ecosystems. You need it. You need the birds. We need the bees. We need all that. That's how the universe works. It's a give, but you notice it's a give and take. When you get ready to invest your money, you got to look at the give and take. If you want to invest some money now, stop. It's like planting a seed. You don't plant the seed and tomorrow dig it up to see how much it grown. You plant the seed and you leave it alone. You cultivate it. You make sure no weeds don't get around it. That's what you do. But it's going to take time. So as soon as you start understanding that, you understanding risk. And if you doing what you need to do, it's going to pan out for you. You know, I was just reading the other day, yesterday, as a matter of fact, I read a lot, y'all. I read oh my God, I read a lot. If I'm not reading and learning, then I feel bad. I feel like I'm cheating myself. I feel like I'm like my stock, man. My peppermint tea getting cold here. Ooh, that's some good tea. That peppermint tea good. I was just reading something. Like I said, I read so much. I think it was 1960. A Whopper cost 37 cents. You can't go to Burger King and look and get no Whopper now for 37 cents for a Whopper. And then the McDonald's burger, Big Mac, was 13 cents. Can you believe that? And you look at the cost of living, the trade-off. That's why I say, listen, time, boy, if you want to get wealthy, rich, you can get rich quick and lose it. Y'all, how do I know that? You can look at entertainers and athletes. You can look at them. You can look at people that even lottos. Rich ain't it. Wealthy is where all the action is. Wealthy is like having good blood pressure. Everything just flowing. Everything just flowing. Your arteries, everything inside just working. You know what I mean? Everything just flowing good. You feel good. You follow me? That's prosperity. Your money should be flowing. You should have your money working. Don't be afraid. Now, if you want guaranteed, that's on the insurance side. Now, like I just said, this guy came in, he gave me $1 million. This other guy, And he says he can just let it there. He don't want to take no risk. But the trade-off is he got to wait 5 years. But in 5 years, he's going to start that same $1 million. He's going to start receiving $112,000 guaranteed per year. If he bring me another $1 million, he's going to get another $112,000 off that one every year. You don't have to have $1 million. You can have 50,000. You can have 20,000. But if you put it into the insurance side, you know what you got. If you died, you can leave it to your beneficiaries. Okay. Now, but if you want to get more than that 10% or whatever, you want to get more than that, you got to take some darn risk. And anybody tell you no, you better run. You got to take some. And I'm not trying to say uncalculated risk. You got to take some risk, because just like you got in your car and you drive to work or you go to church or wherever you go, you just took some risk. But if you don't want to take no risk, you stay home and don't go outside. That's the only way you're going to guarantee that you ain't going to get in an accident. It don't mean you ain't going to die. Because if you want to guarantee that, you can't go to sleep. Because you might not wake up tomorrow morning. I want y'all to hear me. Y'all hear me? Get in church here, man. Can y'all hear me what I'm saying? I'm giving it to you right down raw. I ain't speaking no vocabulary, no language that you don't understand. Risk. You got to understand it. You can't be too tight where you can't gain. Now, me, I have some money in the risk pool, but I also have some money in the non-risk pool. I ain't no fool. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. You could put your money in the growth side where you got to grow. I mean, for me, I buy a whole lot of real estate. I really do. I got a lot of land. Now, land, I just have to pay the property taxes on it. But that land has appreciated. Oh, God. That land has appreciated. I just have to pay the tax on it. But soon as the rates get down low, which they are, because you have this administration that don't care nothing about economics. It should be low. He just went low. And when you get it low, that's the people that got money going to borrow money, refinance, and build stuff even more. And that's why he's getting rid of he's having a problem with the Fed chairman right now, because he won't just artificially just make interest rates low. I mean, you can't just do stuff. There's a method to it. You know, it's a science to it. But he said, I don't give a shit. Make it low. No, because if you make it low, think about it. If you make it low, borrowing going to be more accessible, and people borrow money, they start spending money, and then the rich people, the merchants going to raise their prices. If you have more people with more money, the prices always go up. That's just how it is. That's economics. If more money, people have more money, the price go up. If people have less money, if there's a recession, which they feel that it could be a recession, stock market going down, people going to have less money, so the prices got to go down. In other words, if you have a store and you trying to sell some clothes, ain't nobody coming in, and people come in and just look at your prices, and they put the stuff down, you're gonna be like, honey, why every time people come in here, but they just look at our prices and they put the stuff down and they walk out? And somebody say, whoa, why don't we have a sale when we drop the price? Because, you know, and we lower our prices, and when people come in, they ain't gonna just drop it and go, oh man, you get this for $1. And you have more people coming in. So now you got to do volume. But if you have a lot of people coming in, you ain't going to lower your price. You're going to increase your price, because people got money. And people come in, they buying whatever price you put up there, they still buying it. You ain't going to make it low. You're going to make it higher. That's economics. Now, they didn't teach most of that in school, and we don't understand that. That's the problem right now. Most people don't understand basic economics, supply and demand, risk and reward. Most people don't understand that. And I don't blame you, because it's boring and they don't teach it to you and break it down to you and give you examples like I'm giving you. They don't. Frank Kip said, is there a bonus for the money put in? Frank, I remember, boy, you've been around a long time, Frank, over 10 years. Some annuities give you a bonus. Like this one I just did for a lady. She put in $300,000 she wanted to have safe, and they gave her a 25% bonus, meaning that it's like a match. It's like, just the insurance company says, you know, since you've given us your money and you trusted in us, and we've been around over 100 years, you give us 300,000, we're gonna match it 25%. 25% of 300,000, we're gonna put $75,000 on top of your 300,000, just because you entrust us, and you're gonna let us keep your money for 5 years. That ain't bad, y'all. That ain't bad. Some of y'all like to just keep looking at your money, and in 5 years you still have the same 300,000. That don't make a lot of economic sense. Yeah, Frank. So you can get a bonus. There's some that give you bonus. Now, when they give you that bonus, they just gave you 75,000 on top of that 300,000. So now you got 375,000. Will it grow? Yeah, it'll grow. The one I just gave this lady, they gave her 25% bonus on top of the 300,000, which is 75,000. And as long as she keep the money in there, every year it grows 8% guaranteed. Now that's pretty good. Now you can't just take it out. You can't. Okay, a lot of y'all try to be Slick Willie. Come on, these insurance companies ain't getting ready to let y'all deceive them and just rip them off. You give them 300,000. If you give them 100,000, they give you 25%. And then next month you want all your money back. Come on, man. Come on. Why? Don't work like that. They gonna do for you. You do for them. Remember, I told you trade-offs. It's a trade-off. It's always a catch. But the catch may be good, and I like that catch. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like me marrying my wife, Natalie. It's my second marriage. I got married and stayed married. I was 20 years old for 3 years. Cried like I was Orange Juice Jones. Cried every night, every week, rather. But then I got Natalie, and it was a trade-off. No more girlfriends. But then, I've been married for 39 years, and I'm good with it. I save more money. Now my wife don't buy nothing unless they have 3 pink tags on it. She don't care if I'm making $1 million a month. She don't care. She just feel like the system ripping you off if you paying full price, if you ain't getting a deal. And I like that. I didn't make her. God made her. I just happened that God felt sorry for me for that first marriage. He said, okay, I'm gonna give you somebody who you can deal with, Henderson. And I said, yes. So I'm thankful. So I ain't gonna mess this up. Okay. All right. There's always trade-off, and there's always risk. Always risk. If you want more. But if you don't want more, if you just want to find out where is that happy medium, I'm going to give them my money. They're going to give me something. I can't come take the money back from them next week or next month, but they will let me take 10% out every year, whatever it is. I like that. Matter of fact, they just sent me a new, this company been around a long time. They just had a strategy on annuity, set a fixed guarantee. Now listen, y'all, when I say annuity, I don't deal with that variable annuities. Don't get it twisted. I'm like Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey. Now I don't like them variable annuities. I like to see my money. I like to see my money growing. It's like I don't like variable mortgages. I'm not the type of person. I like to know what I'm getting. I like to know how much it's going to cost. I like certainty. I don't like if I don't want certainty and I want to take, I don't know, I'll be in the stock market, because in the stock market it's what we hope, what we think, what we believe, what maybe happened. That's in the stock market. We don't know. I can't tell you Monday if the market going up. Nobody can. Jim Cramer, MSNBC, nobody can tell you if it's going up tomorrow, Monday. Well, this administration, I kind of take that back, because a lot of inside, if he tell, listen, we're going to bomb Iran, we're going to do something, then okay, yeah. So it's a little, right now, I got to tell you, a lot of little hanky-panky going on right now, because people flapping their gums, and this administration, they really like money. So they might, I don't know. Like I said, somebody know what the president going to say tonight or tomorrow, or he definitely know what he's going to say Sunday. And he might say something that's just going to send the markets up, or he going to say something that's going to send the markets down. And you can make money, believe it or not, when the market go down. You could just buy puts, or you could short stuff. You can say, okay, this stuff going down, let's buy it and bet it to go down. That's only if you got some inside information to the White House, which a lot of them do, because a lot of, they like money and the hell with y'all. So it just depends. That's how they feel. But I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic and I'm not freaking out, because I have learned in my 67 years, this is just a moment. I want y'all to hear me. I have learned in my 67 years on the planet that life isn't stagnant. Life is not like a Polaroid picture. Life is like a movie. It continues to move and evolve. It doesn't stay the same. And once you really, really, really zero in and figure that out, you can stop feeling bad in the moment. When they say trouble don't last always, that's true. Now you hear a cliche, but you lived it. You lived it. I mean, you could be paining right now, but the pain gets a little less as time go on. You fall and hurt your knee. Right there, it's the word. It hurts. But next month it ain't gonna be hurting the way it hurt when you first did it. So change. So even what's going on right now in the world, this happened before. I'm thankful it's not the 1800s and some Ku Klux Klan running behind me wanna hang me just for my skin being black. I mean, I'm thankful for that. Really. I mean, really. I mean, if you're a believer in the Creator and you're doing the right thing, you're going to be fine. But you got to get some wisdom and some understanding. You got to keep your ears and eyes open and stop trying to get something for nothing. That's the biggest problem that people have in terms of financial planning. It's trade-offs. That's it. Trade-off. What you can absorb and what works well with you and what you're going to get. Stop trying to get it all and somebody else don't get nothing. If they're going to give you a bonus, don't be wondering about what they're going to get. If it's okay by you, I mean, really, it's like when somebody come and help me, a mechanic or air conditioned man or whatever. I ain't trying to find out how much profit he making. Hell, I need my air conditioning fix my air conditioning. Hey, they get money. Do what you want to do with it, but help me. It's a trade-off. Stop trying to be on both sides. Stop trying to corner. I got this. I cheated them. I ripped them off. I got the best end. No, the universe is about balance. It really is. Stop trying to get something for nothing and understand that wealth is created through TIME, time. Stop all this get rich quick stuff. Stop all that. And when it comes to investing, find out the deal. What are we doing here? What's the pros? What's the cons? If you are scared, then I could put you in the scared department investments. If you want to take a lot of risks, I can tell you that. But let me tell you something. Let's talk about my time is running out. But I want you to look at risk the way I look at risk. If you got $100,000 and you want to make that money grow, and that's all you got, you can't put all 100,000 in the stock market, because remember, the stock market is what we think, what we believe, what we hope, what we wish to happen. But if you got $100,000 and you say, hey, listen, I'm going to take 10 and 20 and put it there, that's not a whole lot of risk, because you still got 90 left, 80 left. You can put that when it's showing up the insurance guarantee part. You follow me? Yeah, that's how you do it. I mean, you have to measure your risk. I mean, you do. I mean, ain't no sense in you speeding, knowing that you broke. You can't pay the ticket and you're done, so can't pay for the accident, and you ain't got no insurance. That's not you didn't calculate the risk. You know what I mean? There's no sense in you being married and have a girlfriend on the side and you don't have no job. Your wife working. You're in a messed up situation. That's a fool. You don't have no job. Your wife taking care of the household, and you have a nerve to have a girlfriend on the side. Man, you would have not. Man, Come on, we already know what's gonna happen. And you ain't got no money. Both of them are gonna get rid of you. The girlfriend on the side will get rid of you after the wife find out and you get divorced. Come on, you gotta understand risk, man. You gotta, it doesn't make a lot of sense. You know, you like I said, what I'm saying don't have nothing to do with being a financial expert. It's gotta have some, you gotta understand the balance. I mean, if you can't swim, but you want to get in the water, you better have some floaters on your arms and everything. You cannot be flapping around. If you want to get in the pool, risk. All of us take it whether we want to. Every night we go to bed, we risking not waking up. Every day we get in the car and drive, we risking some fool, not our fault, running into us. We every time you get on the airplane, you risking, that it could crash. Every time. And Lord Jesus, I was just thinking about all this kind of food they got. They invent all kind of food, man, and with all kind of stuff in it. Lord, you ain't never heard about this many cancer. Cancer this, cancer that, cancer. Young people, cancer. What? He got cancer. What? Come on. It's a lot of risk. What? So you don't eat nothing? I mean, 8 years ago, almost 9 years ago, I became a pescatarian. I don't eat that red meat. But that don't say that I'm going to live longer than somebody else because I don't eat red meat. Somebody could be eating pork and all kind of chitlins and all kind of stuff and live to 100 years old. I mean, but I don't know. I didn't create them, but I'm trying to give myself a better position. In other words, I'm trying to give myself the odds, make my odds. People who smoke right now, there's people who smoke that's 180, 90 years old. But I don't want to smoke because I have the data on that. Not saying that it's guaranteed, but at least I'm going to try to do my part, So I hope you guys learned something in terms of risk. I know I went all around, but I use metaphors and examples so to help you to understand. There's dividends out there. If you're willing to take a little turbulence or whatever, there's dividends out there that get you, man. We get like 11%. And then we like the dividends that pay monthly. Now, listen to me. When I say 10, 11%, that's not 10, 11% a month. That's a year. Anytime anybody quotes you legitimately the type of return of what you can get on your money, the interest or the dividends, it's always annualized. If you want to look at monthly, you got to annualize, you got to divide it by 12 months. If I tell you I can get you 12% a year, that means every month you're getting 1% because it's 12 months. And at the end, you got the 12%. Yeah, you can get that. But you can't say it's guaranteed. I mean, you give me $50,000. I'm getting you 12%. That's the fruit off the tree. But it could go down and go up. It can go down. Sometimes it go way up. And you're still getting the 12%. And to make you understand what I mean by that, you can put in your address of your house. And I want y'all to do this. Go to Zillow.com, Zillow.com. And I want you to put in your own personal residence where you live. Hell, you put that in there. It's going to give you an estimated value. And I want you to look at that estimated value today. And then next week, I want you to go back and look at that estimated value. It's going to change. And 6 months from now, it's going to change. Is it going to be up a little bit or going to be down a little bit? Does that mean you're going to sell your house? No. But I tell you one thing. Whatever value gives you today, I tell you 5 years from now, that value is going to be up here. Now, in the short term, remember now, the short term ain't nothing. The short term, you can't really measure that in the short term. That's like you going to the doctor and your blood pressure good right now. That don't mean it's going to be good next year or 2 years from now. See, the short term is, that's why they call it short term, like short vision. That's like somebody can only see up close. They can't see far. If you can only see up close and you can't see far, you in trouble. You got to be able to see up close and you got to be up far. See, me, I wear these glasses. When I look up close at my desk, I can't wear my glasses. It's too blurry. So I have to take my glasses off at my desk. I can't wear glasses. When I'm writing, I can't wear glasses. When I look up too far, then I have to put my glasses on. So see, I want to be able to see short vision, and I want to be able to see long vision. This is a metaphor for building wealth. This is a metaphor for living. You can't take all the drugs right now while you young, and then later on think you're going to, and then stop halfway and think you're going to have a good health. No, you take whatever you do now, later on going to come back on you. That makes sense, right? You need to be able to look short and long. So you need to be able to invest your money short and long. Stop this. See, the problem is most people just want to be short term. How you gonna be short term if you plan on living for a long time? You can't just be short term. Give me something right now. Give me something right now. No, you got to put some stuff away, like the squirrel. That's why they give you the whole Aesop story about the squirrel. A squirrel eats some nuts now and they put some nuts later. Because later, if you plan on living later, it's coming. If you don't ate them all now, that's why some people just live paycheck to paycheck. Every time they get paid, they spend all their money. And they working for the man. The man may tell you next month you fired or a new management came in. You know, I got it, man. I got to go because I'm getting ready to get fired up, and I'm getting ready to go. And it's the whole hour. And I'm sorry, y'all. And James C. of London is not here to hold me back because I have conversations with myself and I'm having conversations with you all. And I'll be on here 3 hours talking about different things. I hope you guys learned something. We didn't get a chance to talk to James T, but we'll be back next week. I got to go to a financial conference Tuesday. I'll be back Friday, and I'll be back next Saturday. I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna talk about investments. I'm talking about annuities and more strategy. Okay, Frank Kemp, make sure you tune in. I hope you guys learned something. I hope I didn't bore you. If you learned anything that I said, post a 1. Then I feel good that you got something out of this program today. And listen, if you need counseling, you want to talk about your personal financial affairs. We've been doing a whole lot of living trust lately. I'm so glad people are really thinking about their financial and estate planning. We've been doing a whole lot of that lately, man. If you feel so empowered once you get that done, and we can knock that out in an hour, 2 hours, and you feel good, and I can help you do it. But you can always call our office, 305-825-1444, or you can visit us on the web. And the web is thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. Telephone number 305-825-1444. You can look at this again and share this. Share this with some people who you think need to hear it, or learn. I talked about a lot of things. Talked about Juicy Lucy, but I also talked about the squirrels also, and I talked about risk. But I tried to tie it all in just so you can get some understanding, get some wisdom. Because in all you're getting, you got to get some understanding. You got to get some wisdom. And like I said, the main point, stop trying to get something for nothing. It's always trade-offs. What do you have to do? If you want to eat, you got to cook, or somebody got to cook for you. But you can't just eat. Okay. Much love. Peace. Enjoy your weekend, and please be safe out there. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. Much love to you. Gotta go.